The question could be asked, well, it's a good principle that women's voices are out there, but does it really make a difference? And I would say yes. I would say it's hard to chart because social movements are difficult to chart. But we know, for example, in other nations that there are changes toward peace because women are in the media. We know that the infusion of feminine principles are alive in the world today. We can see it around us. We can see in the election that just happened in Argentina for the presidential campaign of Elisa Carrió. Elisa Carrió refused to take any money from corporations or from public entities. She only took them from individuals. How did she get that? Through the media. The media was so interested in her, the people were so interested in her, that she got free airtime, and all of those small amounts of money that came in supported her campaign. And the women voted for her. She didn't win. She came in third or fourth out of 20 candidates, but it was a miracle. And that was all about the power of her voice and being heard on the radio and the television. Because the world now is one where everyone's listening to everybody else through the media. Whether it's complete information or incomplete information is what we've got. And many of the television, particularly, stations of the regions that are primarily Muslim, are putting in front of the camera unveiled women. That makes a difference in their culture, but it also tells the rest of the world that we are like you and we want to have communications with you. It's not just for the interior audience, it's for the world. And I think that's very, very interesting because no one underestimates the power of the media to make change. And in this particular example, they are using it to tell to the world, here's who we are, let's identify with that. And this is the power of the media. We see women now in all phases of television particularly. And that is changing our culture. I remember 10, 15 years ago when this was the exception, when a woman on television was looked at to, are you going to be as good as a man? Are you going to be as good as Walter Cronkite, as David Brinkley? And generally it was assumed no, because they might be more feminine in approach. That way of viewing is no longer there. We no longer go, well, you're not as good as a man because you don't speak quite as crisply or you don't use bullet points. We now listen more to the women because they're telling the story better. So that's been a complete change that's been led by the media, which then in turn brings changes in how we see our neighbors, how we see the people in the next state or the next nation. That's the power, and that's the power that has to be used well and fully.